Welcome back to Living History with Ted Goldsboro, and our guest today, Nolan Atkinson, an attorney in Philadelphia. And we're talking about his being a commissioner in Lower Merion Township. Mr. Atkinson, where do we want to start here? Do you want to talk about political office, that you're running for political office?
Sure. This is a campaign brochure when I was running, I think probably in, I think this is 1974 as part of the Democratic ticket. And I always wanted to associate myself both with my district and then secondly with the party. And here you see a number of candidates, including Reuben Mogul, who had run before but had not been successful, and I believe he was successful in this election, and also Bill Stearman, who was from Penn Wynne, who also ran. And I believe in this campaign we had three of us were elected, myself, Commissioner Mogul and Commissioner Stearman were all elected, and I think that was the 1974 campaign.
Was that, those of us who grew up around here, the Republican Party had pretty much a stronghold on Lower Merion. Was it unusual to have three Democrats elected?
Well, yes, I think that certainly there had never been a Democrat elected in South Ardmore. There had, I think that Commissioner Mogul had run and had come very close, and that was considered a district which was winnable, and I think the same was true of Penn Wynne. But it was something of a probably historic year for the Democratic Party at that time.
When you lost in 1969, were you disappointed?
I had run a good campaign. I had become engaged, or was about to become engaged. So I took it as an opportunity to basically take a year to sort of get married and get to know my new bride. Without the pace of having to go to meetings every night of the week. And gradually in 1971 and 72 and 3, I began to get back into the political area. During the break, you mentioned the Ardmore Community Development Corporation. I continued to have my interest in housing.
Could you tell us about this organization?
Yes, the Ardmore Community Development Corporation was an organization which was designed to bring housing improvement in South Ardmore. It was a nonprofit corporation. It had community leaders. It had a legal counsel. It was considered an ideal recipient of funds because it had good credibility in the community. In this picture here, you see not only individuals from the community, but also the gentleman in the center is the head of the Chamber of Commerce mainline branch, and others from the Chamber of Commerce, distinguished supporter Al Schifrin, who was from the Gladwin area, the president of the Ardmore Progressive Civic Association, Louis Hazard, was present, as well as, I think this is the Reverend Robert Lovett on the right-hand side. So we had good, strong community support, and where the houses are located at Spring Avenue and
Ardmore Avenue.
Ardmore Avenue in Spring. That was an open lot. In order to build subsidized housing on this acre of land, I can remember we had to raise either $40,000 or $50,000 to tie up the property. And this was an effort to raise that money. This picture is indicating that we had raised that money. I can remember that while it was still an open lot, we planted a Christmas tree. Not planted, but put a Christmas tree and decorated it all up and told folks that this is where we're going to build the first new housing in 100 years in South Ardmore is going to go on that lot. And we ultimately built Ardmore Community Development Corporation, 16 houses, which were condominiums, which stand today and look good. Someone once told me if you build housing that's subsidized and you can go buy it 10 years after you build it, you did okay.
Did you, as chairperson of this group, did you get all these people involved, or did they volunteer to help you? Or?
It was probably, like most things, a two-way street. Got them involved and asked others to help.
Okay.
Assisted in the process of getting some very good lawyers from Philadelphia who lived on the main line to assist in that process. We continued to use PCCA, the Philadelphia Council for Community Advancement, as our consultants and our technical advisors. They had the expertise to how to put together an application to HUD to do something like this.
Good.
And I continued then to still work with Wilson Good in that process, and we were quite successful in getting the application approved by HUD and the houses built.
Now, one of our local papers, the mainline Chronicle, or the Ardmore Chronicle, was opposed to subsidized housing, so you had some opposition along the way.
Absolutely had opposition to not only, most of the opposition came to the units of housing that were built ultimately on the Ardmore Avenue parking lot. I think pretty much everybody supported the new housing at Ardmore and Spring Avenue, the 16 condominiums. There was severe and heavy opposition to building the 65 units on the Ardmore Avenue parking lot.
Now, when you refer to that, that's opposite today's post office in St. Mary's Episcopal Church?
Correct.
Okay. I see that the Mainline Times in 1973 supported you.
This is for
Commissioner.
Commissioner, yes, sir.
But I guess we were talking about subsidized housing, and I see the Mainline Chronicle also supported you. It talks about Tom Carbine.
Yes, that was the gentleman. Yes.
Okay, and he's dedicated. Besides, we should have a black man on the Board of Commissioners, and you couldn't find a more suitable one to serve than Nolan Atkinson. So that's good.
Yeah.
But somewhere in here, and I'm not sure I can find it, and I should be better organized, but there was opposition to what Uncle Ben Kramer, called subsidized housing. He didn't want. Now, did you meet with him sometimes and try to talk to him?
Sure. Used to walk up to the second floor of the Mainline Chronicle. It was a very interesting aroma, and he always had a cigar, so you got the cigar aroma, but it was also an interesting environment. I recognize that Mr. Kramer had a certain set of beliefs that would not change. I also was very committed to change and bringing improvement. I think that in the 4 or 5 years at that time that I had been active in Ardmore, it was clear that I had a record of knowing how to do things in the right way. And so while his opposition may have been traditional in nature, it was never opposition that I felt would keep me from doing what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In addition to housing, difficulty with rundown housing, was there problems at the Ardmore Avenue School?
Well, the Ardmore Avenue School goes back maybe 10, 15 years. It had been the site of a number of issues, primarily around racial imbalances, and a number of groups had raised issues as to the fact that school should really be torn down. And ultimately, that did occur. And there was a vast vacant lot which was rarely used. Usually you would have 2 or 3 businesses that would park their trucks on the lot, but it was not a lot where shoppers would park their cars and then walk down Lancaster Avenue. Mm-hmm. So it was underutilized and underused, and was, I thought, a prime site where housing could be built.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Atkinson, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to have you back for another segment.
Hope to be here.
This is Ted Goldsboro signing off for The Living History.